Hello there. So today's video is going to be just kind of a fun thing. It's not so much a review or instructional or anything. It's just for the sake of being fun. It's kind of a dreary day here and we just wrapped up pencil month. So hey, let's do something a little bit fun. So it's kind of a state of the pen hoard, and I also wanted to do a will it write? And because most of these pens have not been touched for pretty much the last, well, I won't say the last month, because some of them have been used a little bit by either myself or Wesley over the past month. But for the most part, they haven't been touched for at least a week. So it's kind of just to see if, when I pick them up right now, I haven't done anything with them before this to prep them in any way. Will they write? If I put the nib to paper, will ink come out or not? And again, it's not a review or a test of performance. It's just kind of a fun thing. I remember Christine over at Pentulant.com had done a test like this a little while ago when some of her pens sat for a while, and I thought it was really fun, so I thought I'd go ahead and do a video, kind of a live test, and see how it went. And I will of course link to her post down below because I thought that was super fun and it really inspired me. So let's go through kind of what's inked up right now, and then we'll get to the actual test. So I'll just kind of bump the camera a little bit. First one is my Kaweco Allsport. This one has a cartridge of J. Urban Poisson de Lune in it, so that will be one of them. Next one is my TWSBI VAC 700. This has Pilot Blue Black in it, and this one's actually interesting because this was my first TWSBI breakage over the past month because the cap fell apart. So this was the old cap. It came apart right at that like the seam between the plastic part of the cap and then the center band. And it was really great. I emailed TWSBI and they basically sent out a replacement cap for the cost of shipping. So I have a new cap on it, but this sat partially uncapped for a good portion of the month. So that will be kind of fun. And I don't hold anything against TWSBI because the cap broke, because sometimes things break. And this is the first TWSBI I've ever had break. So, sometimes things break and I'm not too concerned about it. So this one is filled with Pilot Blue Black. Then we have my Pilot Vanishing Point, which has Bung Box Blue Black in it, also known as 4B. So that's in that guy. This is a Lamy Safari, which is filled with Sailor Saiboku. This one I actually just used the other day because I was filling out some forms that needed to be signed with something very permanent, and I could not find my tactile turn, so this was the one that I picked. So this one has actually been used pretty recently. Let's see, this is an A.G. Spalding. This is a little pocket pen. I don't think I've mentioned this much. My older brother got this for me when he was in Rome. This is a little pocket pen. It's very similar to the Kaweco Allsport. I'll do a full review of it eventually, but it has a cartridge in it that has Dea Trementis Document Fuchsia in it. This guy is a Lamy Safari, which is empty. It had a converter in it, and I took the converter out and gave it to someone else, and I have not gotten a new converter or cartridges. So this one is actually empty. It's just here for the sake of completeness. And then I have my gray Lamy Safari. This still has Ackerman number 23, which I did a review of before pencil month started, so that's what's in that one. And then a Pilot Custom Heritage 92. I am not entirely sure what the ink is in this pen, but this one might look familiar. I did a review of it a while ago for my friend Paul over at gorgeous.ink, and then I sent it back to him because he had gotten it from Pilot, and then when we met up at the DC Pen Show, he put it back on more or less indefinite loan to me because it's just not his style of pen, so I'm holding on to it for now, and I'm not exactly sure what will happen with it in the future, but this is the ink that he put in it, and I have no idea what it is, so yeah. And that's it. That's all the pens that are inked up right now, so let's go ahead and reposition ourselves so that I can get some writing done. So I kind of already went through and wrote down each, like the pen name and the nib, and then the ink that was in it, so that I wouldn't be fumbling around, and so that it would already be there and I didn't have to worry about writing it down while I'm doing this. So now I just have to pick out the right pen for what I've written down. So again, starting with this Lamy Safari in the Griso Gray, inked up with Ackerman number 23. the Quick Brown Fox. And as you can see, that one definitely wrote as soon as I put nib to paper, which is really surprising because I remember this ink being kind of dry when I had been reviewing it, but seems to write just fine. And this one I know for sure had not been touched all month. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's see, working our way down. Next one is the A.G. Spalding, inked with the Dea Trementis Document Fuchsia. This one I'm pretty sure is not going to write right away because the cap doesn't seal particularly well, so this pen has a little bit of a bad habit of drying out, which, as you can see, it is indeed dry. I'm not even sure. I think this is one where I'm going to need to get a damp paper towel. I don't think it's going to write at all for me right now. Yeah, this one is definitely one that needs me to get the feet a little bit wet. So that's kind of a bummer, but I'm not really surprised by that. I don't know why this one doesn't seal up very well. It just doesn't. So I might try maybe putting a little bit of like silicone grease on the threads here and seeing if that helps the cap make a better seal. Otherwise, I don't really know what else I can do. And it doesn't seem like there's any other holes in the cap except for maybe where the clip goes in. So bummer, but again, not really surprised by that one. Moving down, next one is our TWSBI VAC 700. Oh, come on, there we go. Like I said, this one sat partially uncapped for a good portion of the month, but this is also a pretty wet nib, so yeah. I'm not surprised that it starts up right away, but I feel like the ink is definitely a lot darker than it usually is because of evaporation, but that's just kind of to be expected. Let's see, what's our next one? Next one is the Pilot Vanishing Point with the Bungbox Blue Black. This is a very fine nib, so I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here, but it appears to have started up right away. It's a little bit dry. You can see just a little bit of skipping there, but then again, it's a fine nib and it hasn't been used in a while, so I'd say that is pretty good performance. Next one is the Lamy Safari. Like I said, this one was used just the other day, so it should, yeah, start right up. It did the other day when I used it as well after sitting for a while, but again, because this is a pigmented ink, Sailor Saiboku is a pigmented ink, it's definitely not one that you want to let sit and dry out in your pen because you can have a lot of problems with it not wanting to clean out very well. So that's definitely one that even though it will write, I'm going to clean it out super thoroughly and make sure that it's really well cleaned out before re-inking it again. Next ink and pen is my Allsport with the J. Urban in it. This one I'm not really sure. This is a pretty, most J. Urban inks are pretty well behaved, so we'll see. Yep, and that one started right up as well, which is good. This pen, you know, being a pocket pen, it definitely seals really well because you don't want to have any leaks or anything in your pocket. So that one definitely is a good performer, although definitely what I would expect. And then the last one is the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. This one, you know, kind of given how well the other Pilot behaved with the Vanishing Point, how that one behaved, I would expect that this one would also start up just as well, especially because the cap has this kind of inner seal on it, which is very dirty. I need to clean it out, but I would expect that this one should start right up as well. And it does. And again, it's a very fine nib on here, so, you know, it's a little dry, I'd say, but not really. I mean, definitely, if you compare that to the Pilot Vanishing Point, that one was definitely drier than this one. So apparently the 92 seals up a little bit better than the Vanishing Point. But yeah, that's it. I'll kind of give you guys a aerial view. So that's kind of what was going on. The only one that really disappointed, I guess, was the A.G. Spalding, although again, that's kind of what I expected. So yeah, now I'm going to go clean out all of these pens, and I think I'm only going to re-ink one of them because my kind of plan going forward is to just have one pen inked at a time so that I don't wind up with problems like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to ink up this guy with the Emerald of Shavar. I have a sample of that again from my friend Paul, and I'm excited to try it out, and so I think I'm going to throw that in here, and then expect to see a review of that coming up sometime soon. Yeah, that's it. Hope everyone else is having a lovely day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!